Hey everybody, welcome to. Hey, we've got folks waiting. Welcome to Zenny 62 on a Friday night, which is unusual because we don't usually do Friday nights. I usually take a break, but I have a special guest, and right here, bam.
Take a break,
Ooh.
but I have a special guest, and right here.
In fact, I've got double.
Take a break, but I have a special guest.
The double speak.
Right here.
In fact, I've got double.
Take a break, but I have a special guest.
The double speak. There we go. The Chamber of Horrors is closed now. Charlie, welcome to Zenny 62. And hey, is that your son? Introduce your son.
Yeah, this is Eli. I've got another one of my kids here too on the other side. This is Fiona coming around.
Hey.
And Mama too.
Hey.
Fiona.
Bring the family over. Hey everybody. How you doing? Hey, how y'all doing? Happy Friday. How's it going?
And there's Mama.
Hey, how you doing?
Friday night, kids just got home.
Oh.
Past his bedtime.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, how are you? How are you? Hey, welcome. Hey, Charlie. Welcome to my world, man.
Yeah, this is my world.
Awesome. Folks, Charlie is running for Oakland City Council District 4 seat. And Charlie, before we talk about the other good stuff, folks, you just tuned in. You can leave your chat questions over here. There's Charlie. There's me. Charlie, this is you, your platform. Hey, thank you for being on Zenny 62. What was it that, why are you running for city council? What was the aha moment where you said, I'm going to run?
Well, I think it starts with my story. My story is an Oakland story. I grew up here, so my parents met as writers for the Tribune in '64.
Mm-hmm.
They later to 4, which is the seat I'm running for right now. So I'm a proud product of Oakland Public Schools, including Thornhill, Montera, and Skyline High School. Once a Titan, always a Titan.
Class of 80.
And
Class of 80. Skyline 80.
Oh, okay. You're a little older than I am, sir. I won't get into that.
Well, that's okay. I'll tell you, John Landgraf and I are class of 80. John Landgraf runs FX.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's good company.
Yeah.
Anyway, so after I went away to college, I came back to Oakland and got involved in a business in West Oakland, where we supplied ships in the port. And I started at the bottom, worked my way, got some equity in the business, and grew it to Long Beach, Portland, and Seattle. And sold it in 2010, started getting involved in nonprofits in our city, including the Agency for Children, the Oakland Feather Camp, and the Oakland Promise Program. The aha moment probably happened when our current councilman, Washington, decided she wasn't going to run for the election. And I thought about it for a while, and I thought, this is a perfect opportunity for me to bring my experience, my entrepreneurial spirit to City Hall. And that kind of brought me to where I am today, a candidate with 31 days remaining.
How's the
It's a very engaged process. I like to use the E words to describe it: exhausting, exciting, engaged, enthralling, entertaining. So,
what have you learned as you've gone around?
I think the most big thing are the number of people in the city who give their own time, nonprofits, community people, to step in where the city just doesn't have resources to do for our citizens. Mm-hmm. There are so many in this city, it's amazing to me. People who give their time, their money, and without any recognition. I think that's the spirit of Oakland.
Hey, so tell me, what are your thoughts about, first of all, how we handle the situation with the Warriors? I'm just going to leave it very open-ended. What are your thoughts about the Warriors situation?
I have to confess that of the 3 sports teams we have, probably going to be very unpopular, but just was never a huge basketball fan. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed going to a couple games a year. I'm proud of our team, the celebration party. But at the end of the day, Oakland losing a sports team is a tragedy, whether it's the Raiders or the Warriors. At this point, I can tell you I'm going to go see a couple games in San Francisco next year. The questions about whether the city did enough to keep the team, I'm not really going to weigh in on that because I really honestly don't know what happened behind the scenes. It seems like the team took an opportunity to be more profitable and perhaps move.
Hey, first I want to welcome one of our longtime viewers and Zinni62 moderators, Barry Lee. Hey, Barry, if you have a question for Oakland City Council District 4 candidate Charlie, is it Michelson? I can pronounce that correctly? Michelson. If you have a question for Mr. Michelson, you can type it in the field as well as you normally do. Hey, so shifting gears, let's talk about the athletics. And I know the sound, and the sound, let's see, the sound is, I don't want to mute my mic. I think we're doing fine. But what are your thoughts regarding the A's and where they should have a ballpark?
I love talking about baseball. We could spend the whole hour on baseball.
Well, let's see your hat.
Okay, so this is...
Yeah! Woohoo!
And the common joke is that the A's are so poor, they couldn't afford the apostrophe S. I went to spring training for the first time this year, so I bought the hat at spring training.
Nice. Nice.
I have another relic here. I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah. Whoa, that's cool, man.
So this is the A's World Series ring from 1974. My father was a writer for the A's from 68 to 75.
Whoa.
And Charlie Finney gave all of the writers gave the World Series rings in the
Huge stuff, man. So that...
Yeah, so I'm a diehard A's fan. As a kid, I used to cut classes at Skyline High School, pay $2 and go sit in the bleachers on the Wednesday afternoon game.
Nice.
But when I think about our team today, I'm proud. I'm really proud of what our team did this year. I'm disappointed we didn't beat the Yankees in New York. But for me, the season we had is truly memorable, and the overperformance of our team. I think their commitment to trying to get further is a testament to the ownership. I had the pleasure of meeting Dave Cavill in his office, and I think he really cares about Oakland and cares about the team. And I'm sure you want to know ballpark preferences.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, when I'm talking to people, I say, whatever the path of least resistance is, right? Is it going to be easier at Howard Terminal? Is it going to be easier at the Coliseum? And, I know they prefer the Howard Terminal side. They're able to get something done there, great. I applaud Assemblyman Rob Bonta for his legislative effort to limit any CEQA challenge to 270 days. That was important to the team. And I can tell you, I'm endorsed by Mayor Schaaf, which I'm proud of, and I know she's told me she's committed to keeping our team. I think her actions speak loud.
Hey, Charlie, technical point. Can you come a little closer in talking so the mic picks up a little bit better? I think there's a little Doppler.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, from where I sit, path of least resistance, I've heard that the transportation challenges and the environmental conditions of Howard Terminal could be an inhibitor to getting something done. When I think about the Coliseum site, I think about a lot of economic opportunity in our city. And I think about the sheer land that we have there. I've seen plans for development that could include things we really need in our city. Housing, retail, and a great ballpark, a brand new ballpark with transportation. So again, whatever's able to happen, more quickly, with least resistance is what I support.
Hey, is that to say regarding the Coliseum that well, what should be from your position the future of sports is economic development in Oakland?
I didn't understand the question.
Oh, sure. What's the future of sports as economic development in Oakland from your position?
So good question. And I think we think about the loss of the Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what economic benefit they bring to our city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's 8 games or 10 games a year. When we look at baseball, 82 games a year. And when you think about people and the jobs that go with these sports teams, I think the city stands to benefit a lot more from 82 games a year rather than 10.
Mm-hmm.
So in the sheer volume of activity,
Mm-hmm.
I think baseball is a better win for our city.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I've been to some ballparks. I took a little ballpark tour this year,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to see Cleveland, great park. Got to see Cincinnati, Detroit, and these are great parks. You know, and I think with the Coliseum site unto its own, we need affordable housing.
Mm-hmm.
We need retail.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to a guy who's involved in development. He said the ideal thing would be to carve it up into 4 parcels, the Coliseum lot. Just one of his ideas, the entire MS, and get different developers in each corner.
Mm-hmm.
One of them will build a ballpark, one does retail, affordable housing, and some other community activity that could bring people together. That part of Oakland could use a boost.
Hey, Barry Lee has a question. He asks, what are your views on Oakland building its own convention center? I mean, we have one, but it's only 150,000 square feet.
You know, I think Oakland is now an attractive city to bring more business and more revenue here. With that comes restaurants, hotels, and I think these are important economic engines in our city. You know, at the end of the day, I think anything that's great businesses to our city will benefit. This all kind of comes back to housing too, because I think we sort of have a quality problem here in Oakland that millions of people want to live here now.
Mm-hmm.
You were here in the 80s. Were people screaming to come to the city?
No, nope, not at all.
Right.
Been here since
If
April.
that comes, I
Yeah.
think some issues.
No.
The biggest one is just not enough affordable housing and people being put out on the streets because it's too expensive to live here.
Yeah. No, I mean,
That's the dichotomy of where we are.
institutional investor racism hurt us, you know?
Yeah. And there's a great book, I'm sure you read The Color of Law by Rothstein.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very informative on how we ended up where we ended up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I worked in economic development, my first job out of grad school.
Okay.
I was with the Oakland Redevelopment Agency. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get off on a rant because this is your time, but I lived the problem. Came to within 8 NFL owner votes to bring in 2005 Super Bowl. Here we lost to Jacksonville. That's a movie unto itself. At any rate, hey, what is it that we should think about as we think about a site for a ballpark? Some people want Howard Terminal. Others wanted Laney College, as you recall, right?
Yeah.
And then the Coliseum. There are also people who say, hey, look, you know what? I don't want Oracle Arena torn down at all. I don't care. They say, I don't care the Warriors are going to San Francisco. Keep Oracle. What do you say to all that?
You know, I don't see much value to that.
Mm-hmm.
We know that there's $135 million worth of Raiders debt left on the parcel.
Mm-hmm.
And how the city and the county, through the authority, sort out who takes what. You know, to me, there's little happening on that side. And again, I don't know exactly how many acres it is, but when you think about the potential of that parcel in the city,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to advocate for keeping the arena. I think it's got to be, carefully done, and how are we going to plan out what's done. I do support the city taking over control and authority of that site, including assuming the debt. And then the city would be able to negotiate with different developers when it comes down to, hey, we'll give you this piece of property, you take this much of the debt. I'm just going to say goodnight to my son.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Night night. Say smoothies. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey. Bye. See ya.
The joys of parenting.
You're a lucky man.
I feel blessed.
Yeah, good. Quite blessed. Hey, so Barry Lee has another question. He says, I say build a new convention center by the arena and attach it to the arena, gives you more convention space already in place. And then he also wants to know what your thoughts are regarding attracting another league, like, for example, the XFL or the the Alliance of American Football, as it's called, they're trying to come here in Atlanta as well.
Right. I mean, I think that's a great development idea for the Coliseum site. We have an airport that's a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
We have BART. We have Amtrak.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, when we think about what's going to be done with this site, it's important. It's consequential. I think about what it could be, and again, I've seen some of the plans, drawings, and I think about the needs of our city. And I can tell you, I really feel like this may be one of the most important issues that the new council deals with in the next term.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Hey, given that, this is a question off the top of my head. How about a citywide discussion? Because I don't feel that we really have had a true citywide kind of town hall style talk about, the future of sports in Oakland. And yet, as I said to anybody who wouldn't listen, I feel that we have a multi-billion-dollar facility we won as a high school gymnasium. But, is it something that we should really focus on, or just give it up to Elon Musk and Tesla, as some wanted to do? Dan Cowell?
The Coliseum site?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah. I mean, I support manufacturing jobs, and I think they're offering good jobs. But I don't know that that's the right placement for something like that. And when we could use that spot to develop really significant housing, a convention center, some open space. And, Oakland's missed the boat on retail. You go to shop, where do you go?
Yep.
Emeryville, Walnut Creek.
San Francisco.
Oakland needs to be the forefront of developing economic opportunity in our city. And I tell you, I met the mayor of Emeryville a few weeks back, and he said, look, I feel like the guy in the king of scooping up Oakland's gold coins. And he was referring most recently to some cannabis type businesses that Oakland was trying to attract, and has apparently overtaxed to the extent they're going to Emeryville.
Do you have a plan to alter that?
Well, there's legislation on the ballot. That would, if passed, it would give the council authority to reset tax rates. And so, from that perspective, I think that seems like a good measure, so we can remain competitive, whatever the tax rates be in the product.
Hey, so let's shift to the Raiders now, everybody's favorite subject. First of all, what are your thoughts about how we handle the Raiders situation, as much as you feel like you know?
And I don't know tons. Can tell you when they moved back here in 1994. I was 24 years old. I plunked down money for these tickets and PSLs. And I financed for years. I went to the 2002 Super Bowl.
Oh, you were there
I was
too?
greatly disappointed. I was there.
Yeah,
San
me
Diego.
too. I was wearing all black, man.
Yeah, well, I was too. It was probably the worst day of my life. You might as well call
Oh,
it Black Sunday.
oh, God, my God.
Uh, you know, for me, I think as I've grown
Hey,
into a family,
I gotta mark this moment. It's rare that you meet somebody who was in exactly the same place at exactly the same time. God love you, my man.
I was crying with like 2 beers in my hand.
Oh, you meet Charlie Santana Jr.
Exactly.
Oh God, what a killer. Man.
But as I've matured in my 20s into my 30s and 40s and had kids, it became hard to go to the games. I got to be honest with you. To take my kid, it just wasn't a family thing, and so I didn't go that much in the past few years. I took my daughter, my 14-year-old, to her first Raiders game last year, Denver game. And I hadn't been in years. It was great to be there, but until she was that age, I don't know that it was appropriate. I think we had an opportunistic owner who took full advantage of our city. I was excited that the team was back, but I also don't think we should keep chasing them with dollars and dollars when we've learned our lesson.
Mm-hmm. Should we sue them?
So suing the Raiders, I think it's like crying over spilled milk.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the city, I think they've said that they do not have, we don't have to, we found an attorney to take it up on a contingency basis. So theoretically, there's no funds going out. But I understand also, if the city loses, we have to pay the other side's attorneys.
No, not they. Not they arrange it so it doesn't. Yeah, no, it's a good deal. It's actually a good deal.
To sue them?
If you're asking me, yeah, it's a yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just saying. I just popped out because I get to live with this for so many years. But I apologize. But I didn't want to influence your answer. I'm just saying. I thought you were asking what I thought, but yeah.
Yeah. If it's good, look, I don't know what the possible outcomes are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to bring the team back, to the best of my knowledge. Is this the best use of city energy and city resources? I don't know.
What about shifting gears from there? As I said to actually the mayor, we have a problem in that we don't have enough of what are called MICE jobs. MICE are meetings, incentives, entertainment, conventions and entertainment, MICE. In other words, we don't have enough hotels. We don't have enough meeting space. We consistently take a back seat. How come we don't have enough hotels in Oakland? Because this actually is adjunctly related as a guy who worked on the Super Bowl. How come we don't have enough hotels in Oakland? And how come there doesn't seem to be any drive to actually increase them? I mean, a woman can make $69,000 a year average, which isn't bad.
Right.
What's going on with that in your view? And how can we change it? Or do we need to? Oh, we need to be all tech.
No,
what do you think?
My background is not.
Mm-hmm.
I had a business in West Oakland. I employed 40 people in our city. And to me, I think the city's missed the boat on economic development. I wouldn't advocate to have a council full of entrepreneurs and business people, but maybe one, maybe me. Who knows what it's like to make things happen, to work with private industry, to get businesses here, to flaunt this city for the attractive gem it is.
Yeah.
How can we market ourselves now? I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the city.
Yeah, last person who got.
And again, back to the high quality problem of people wanting to move.
Yeah. Have you met Dick
So let's
Spees?
leverage that.
Yeah. Have you met Dick Spees by chance?
I have. Dick Speed endorsed my campaign.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I was setting you up for that because
Yeah.
Dick Spees was the last person to really get economic development. Who, I mean, no offense to anybody else who sat in that seat up there,
Right.
So that would be something else. Hey, so what is it? as you walk around the city, what do people talk to you about the most? What's on their mind?
Homelessness and affordable housing. And I think that sometimes there's a perception that the people in District 4, people in the hills, that they don't see that, they don't care about it, but that's absolutely wrong. I think that, more than roads, more than fire protection, the people in this city, in this district, care about what's happening on our streets. And I can tell you, I went down to the Telltale villages. I wanted to see it myself. And what I learned there, 5% of the people on our streets are Oakland residents. And we didn't have a homeless problem 5 years ago. This only happened as housing got more affordable. More unaffordable.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are experts who believe, because it's not chronic like San Francisco or Berkeley, they might actually be able to solve this if we get a hold of it soon enough. And I think we need to do.
Do you have a plan to address that?
I'm advocating for more shelters. Our tough sheds are great, but it accommodates about 120 people with the new, in an unsheltered homeless population of about 3,400.
Mm-hmm.
That's 120 out of 3,400.
Jeez.
I've studied what they've done in San Diego, Sacramento, about a larger shelter environment. I went over to San Francisco. I had a full tour of the Michelson Navigation Center. I got to see what they're doing over there. And quite simply, we need to do more.
Do you sense that there is, I didn't plan to move in this direction, but I will because it seems appropriate. Is there a real sense of urgency to solve the homeless problem?
The action follows the urgency.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of this, too, is probably like the Coliseum where it's tied up with the county.
Mm-hmm.
The county's responsibility is to provide services around health, around mental health, addiction, to the entire county.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spoken to Alameda County supervisors, I've spoken to people in the city, and there's a lot of finger pointing. It's a complicated relationship, but finger pointing ain't going to solve the problem.
Okay. What do we do to stop the finger pointing?
To me, a lot of it's relational. It's coming with a new approach.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are a lot of people providing service to the homeless community. A lot of coordinated effort between nonprofits, city, and I would really want to look into this if elected and propose some higher level oversight to make sure we're delivering as many services as we can to the. One of the things that's come on the council agenda, we received about $8.4 million from the state,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for homeless services.
Mm-hmm.
And the city council is going to contract it out for.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested to know which kind of service providers are going to be getting to provide these services and what the services are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it's very consequential. We may not get $8.4 million next year.
Hey, so first of all, how are you doing on time? Because this is we got a good clip here.
Yeah, about 10 more minutes. Is that cool?
Sounds great. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so in your campaigning, how have you seen Oakland change? Because you've been in Oakland for a while, as I have, but
Yeah.
how has Oakland changed over time? Aside from the obvious, like the gentrification and everything else. And I ask that because I get the sense, even though I haven't been back much because I'm here with my mom, and I gotta come back and check on my place, right? But I get the sense there's been a lot of turnover.
That there has been?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen that in my own neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of families moving over to San Francisco. You know, young kids, people about to have kids, you know, who can afford the prices people are selling homes for. You know, I've been here in the 80s. I've been through the crack epidemic. You know, I had a business in West Oakland when you didn't want to walk down those streets at night. And now those streets are busy. You know, I would dare say Oakland's not as diverse as it was when I was here.
Right.
And I think even our schools, it doesn't have the. When I was growing up, I think Oakland was about 46% African American.
Right.
And we're down in the low 20s. You know, we've seen the Latino population increase quite a bit. But I think if we're not careful, we'll see diminishing numbers, those affected communities. And that concerns me. Right now, the city's fairly evenly quartered between Asian, Latino, African American, and white. And I think that's a beautiful mix, you know, but we have to make sure that people aren't leaving here because it's unaffordable.
Right.
You don't want to live here
Right. Well said. Do you have a plan for affordable housing that you want to talk about?
You know, so one of the things that I've been on this path of campaigning, I've learned, you know, builders of market rate housing have an option to pay either an impact or build an affordable housing unit. And all market rate developers, the vast majority, are paying impact.
Right.
That money does go to a housing trust in our city, which benefits people who need housing, but it doesn't put an affordable unit on the market,
Right.
you know, for the long term.
Right.
And that's concerning too. I don't know that I understand all the pieces of the puzzle, but those are the questions that Arthur. 1,000 units, but 7% are affordable. That's 70 out of 1,000.
Jeez, ouch.
Yeah, and again, there are things I don't know about, but these are the questions that come up in my mind in these complex conversations. You know, the questions that I want to ask if I was on the city council.
Hey, in closing, tell viewers how they can follow your campaign, get in touch with you for more information.
Hey, great. And that I was going to try my campaign flyer. But www.charlie.vote is a campaign website. You can reach out to me through there.
Repeat that, please.
Facebook.
Repeat that, please, Charlie. The website.
www.charlie.vote.
Yes,
sir. It's a new domain.
Okay, www.charlie.vote. Got it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Then our Facebook page, Charlie Michelson for Council. You can find us there. And you can find me out and about in the day. We have a picnic at Diamond Park this weekend, 11:30 on Sunday. All are welcome. Let me know if you're going to be there so we can make sure we got enough food, but we're going to go out and knock on some doors after that. It's my favorite part of the campaign, actually getting out there and talking to you. And I got one other thing to show you.
Yeah. It's your, yeah.
I don't know if you can see this picture. So this is my dad talking to Kenny Holtzman in 1973. A locker room interview.
Nice. Hold it up a little bit higher because it's, yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Boy, somebody had a mullet.
Yeah. But my passion for baseball is huge. And I got all kinds of memorabilia. So sometime offline, I'll have to get together and talk.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be a lot of fun. Definitely. Hey, Charlie, I want to thank you very much. This has been a ton of fun, and I'd like to do it again. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, and pleasure on your show.
You got it, man. Thank you for being on it.
Take care.
Okay, I'll see you. All right. All right, folks. That was Oakland City Council candidate Charlie Michelson. And he's one of a field of 10 candidates. Yeah, I said 10 candidates for city council. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this stream so that it forms and it has Mr. Michelson on it, yeah? And I'll come back in about a minute or so and we'll talk Raiders and Chargers. All right, we'll see you.